What a weekend. Remember how last week there was a woman testifying in front of Congress, and Donald Trump, being the stable genius we know he is, decided to go on Twitter and attack her in writing, and then everyone, including a lot of his supporters, said that was a very wrong thing to do? Well, guess what? Yesterday, Tweety Gonzalez pulled out his little orange thumbs, and he did it again. This time he attacked a woman who works for Mike Pence currently. Her name is Jennifer Williams. She's a special advisor to the vice president. She was also listening in on Trump's now infamous call with the president of Ukraine. There were more people on this call than there were at his inauguration, but... So in her closed-door testimony, Williams says Trump specifically mentioned the name of the Ukrainian company Hunter Biden worked for. It's called Burisma, but that was omitted from the transcript the White House released. You know, the one the president keeps telling us to read? Well, turns out maybe that transcript has been sanitized for his protection. Trump, of course, as soon as he heard this, went right on the tack. He called this woman who works, again, for his vice president, a never-Trumper, which is... It's like calling the Hamburglar a vegetarian. It's ridiculous. She is scheduled to testify publicly tomorrow, and that'll be interesting. Burisma is a word you don't forget. Sounds like a disease that makes you put your cat to sleep. It's not something that comes up in normal conversation. I don't know if this has anything to do with that, but the other big story this weekend was the president made an unplanned, unannounced trip to the hospital. The staff at Walter Reed Hospital was given no advance notice of the president's visit, which is unusual. Usually, they're all told in advance. It sounds to me like maybe the old fella is pregnant. It's possible, but anyway, so you know the president loves to talk about how healthy he is and how slow and tired everyone else is. This visit chips away at that, but there was a perfectly good reason for it, at least according to White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham, who had a not at all suspicious-sounding explanation for a curious Jeanine Pirro.
I understand it wasn't a scheduled annual visit. Can you tell us what it was?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a really busy year ahead, as you can imagine. And so the president decided to go to Walter Reed and kind of get a head start with some routine checkups as part of his annual exam. That's all it was. It was very routine. We had a down day today, and so he made the decision to head there.
They had a down day. Every day is a down day. This, by the way, this is Trump's real schedule for today, for Monday. We did not alter this for comic effect. First thing he had for the day was an intelligence briefing at 2 p.m., and then a meeting with the Secretary of State at 4:15. And that's it. Then back to the couch to watch Fox News. The Dolphins at SeaWorld have busier schedules than our president. But go on, what's the rest of the health story?
And there's no truth to the rumors that it was something else, because the rumors are flying.
Oh, the rumors are always flying. Absolutely not. He is healthy as can be. I put a statement out about that. He's got more energy than anybody in the White House. That man works from 6 a.m. until, you know, very, very late at night. He's doing just fine.
You know, Stephanie, he's almost superhuman.
Right. He's faster than a tweeting bullet. He's able to bankrupt tall buildings in a single bound. The president, of course, shared an update on his health on Twitter. He wrote, visited a great family of a young man under major surgery at the amazing Walter Reed Medical Center. Those are truly some of the best doctors anywhere in the world. Also began phase 1 of my yearly physical. Everything very good. Great. Will complete next year. But next year? Phase 1 was this weekend. Phase 2 is next. Was this a physical or a kitchen remodel? This doesn't make... This probably won't be good for Trump's health. The president now claims he might want to testify in front of Congress himself in the impeachment inquiry, which is a lie, but that doesn't mean he didn't tweet it. This morning, he wrote, stick with me on this, our crazy do-nothing, where's USMCA infrastructure, lower drug pricing, and much more, Speaker of the House, nervous Nancy Pelosi, who is petrified by her radical left, knowing she will soon be gone. They and fake news media are her boss, suggested on Sunday's Deface the Nation, clever, that I testify about the phony impeachment witch hunt. She also said I could do it in writing, even though I did nothing wrong and don't like giving credibility to this no due process hoax. I like the idea and will, in order to get Congress focused again, strongly consider it. It's quite a That's quite a sentence. 12 high school English teachers killed themselves after reading that sentence. But the gist is, the president claims he will strongly consider testifying. I mean, he won't testify. That will never happen. But he will do some very strong considering of it. Maybe the strongest. No one considers more strongly than Donald Trump. They say he's almost superhuman, you know? The only thing he ever strongly considers is original or extra crispy. That's it. And by the way, hours after Trump floated this idea of providing testimony, the House launched an investigation into whether he lied in his testimony to special counsel Robert Mueller. I hope he testifies in person. I really do. It would be so much fun to see all the Republicans in that chamber barking and wagging their tails when their owner walks in, wouldn't it? Meanwhile, on the Democratic side of things, Joe Biden's doing everything he can to remind us that he is a very old person. Joe Biden says that if elected, he will not legalize marijuana federally because he thinks it might be a gateway drug. That's correct. It is a gateway drug to not getting the Democratic nomination for president. But he says there needs to be more research done. And it does lead to other things. I mean, first you try marijuana, then that leads to sarsaparilla, which leads to black licorice, which leads to goofballs, to poppers, to malarkey. Next thing you know, you're selling your body for Werther's Originals. It's a slippery slope. But the idea that we need to do more study on this, they've already done a study, like for the last 80 years. You know how we know marijuana isn't a gateway drug? Willie Nelson isn't a crackhead, okay? Snoop Dogg has a house. End of study. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and this is the Internet. I made it myself. Hit subscribe if you like it.